Good evening, everybody. Oh, sorry to hear that, Arnav. Hopefully you'll still get some fun out of it. Okay, one moment. Okay, let's get going, guys. Whoa, somebody else. Yep. Come here. Taekwondo. Raise your right hand and recite the tenets. Shijok, courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, indomitable spirit, and the student oath. So, I shall observe the tenets of Taekwondo. I shall respect the instructor and seniors. I shall never misuse Taekwondo. I shall be a champion of freedom and justice. I shall build a more peaceful world. Bottle. First up, just check your camera angle, please, to make sure that I'm seeing more of you than I am of the ceiling, and adjust your camera angle if I'm seeing lots of your ceiling. That would be great. Awesome. Hopefully you've got this projected up on a big screen so you can see stuff. To those who graded last night, congratulations on your grading result. They were all sent out last night. So awesome to see some new yellow belts and some new yellow stripes. Very cool. When I grow up and get my big boy pants, I'll learn how to do a Zoom grading for colored belts. But I really want to see people with partner work. So as I say, we'll do that when we get back in the dojang. So hopefully we'll get that done pretty soon. And what we'll do when we get back in the dojang, we'll do a couple of weeks where we focus on the partner work we haven't been able to do in lockdown. And then we'll get stuck in and do a grading a couple of weeks in. Okay, first up, well, let's get warm first. Joint rotations. Change direction. Elbows. Fingers crossed for level 2 next week. I'm not quite sure whether or not we'll get it. Change direction. Arms back. Forwards. Torso. Left ankle. Change direction. Change foot. Change direction. Hands on knees, down and back. And circle your legs outwards. Inwards. We'll just do some light basic kicks to warm up. So 1 foot back into an L stance. From here to start with, side front snap kick, front snap kick. side front snap kick, front snap kick, just about half power. So front leg for the side front snap kick, rear leg for the front snap kick. Remember, the difference is the angle that your back foot is facing. Which of course changes the angle of your body. There we go. You're lifting your knee nice and high. And the other side. Keep your hands up. And relax. Now from here, we're going to go to bending ready stance type B. This way. And back piercing kick. Just lightly. Okay. You're straightening your leg right out. Check yourself on your camera. Other leg. And relax. From your off stance, just lightly and low, about the height of your belt. Turning kick, alternating legs. Come on, grab a chair. Low side facing you. If you've got a partner, you can do the first part of this exercise with your partner. If you haven't, you can use your chair. Push up position. One hand on the chair. And change. 50 times. And way more than 50. Why don't I do that? Lost count. Okay. Now with our lovely chair, 12 front rising kicks each leg, 12 side rising kicks each leg. Go. What's your foot angle? Alice and Rose, change hand on your chair. So you want to have your back hand on the chair, not your front hand when using one hand. So you can turn your shoulders to a side kick this way, rather than having a back kick going on this way. You're going to open my shoulders out. That's it. Look where you're kicking. Okay. This time, just slowly, 12 turning kicks, keep your knee and foot up. Try and get a good range of motion. Turn that supporting foot. This time, stamping with your side piercing kick. 12 each leg, not too fast. Lift, lift, lift. Make sure you're stamping with this kick, not flicking, stamp. Lift the knee and foot up. Don't let it drop down when you retract. All good. And then dips, 30 each leg. Come on, Nate and Jess. Okay. We're only going to do 2 sets tonight. Turning kicks again. 12 each leg. Working the strength. Try and keep the knee and foot up, Jack. Try not to lower it between kicks. Keep it up. Okay. And now your yop chagi. Go. Try and lift your body and your leg up. Use the muscles in your body. Open your shoulders. And now you're 30 dips each leg. There you go. Lift it, lift it. Once you've done those, you can get rid of your chair and grab a drink. Okay. Now we've done a bit of time in the last few weeks on 3-set sparring at yellow stripe, yellow belt level. We're going to play a little bit tonight with 3-set sparring at 7th GUP level. So 7th GUP, you should remember, seniors, you should remember the attacks are with L stance, the counter attacks are with your kicks, with your basic kicks. And then that's one way, and then you also do two-way, doing number 1 and number 2 from the yellow belt syllabus. Remember, with 3-step sparring, when we start in parallel stance, a parallel stance is, you should know how wide, 1 shoulder width measured from the outsides of your feet. If you've got lines on your floor, you can use your lines. Your walking stance is 1 shoulder width measured from the center of your feet, which means it's the width of your foot wider. And your back foot turns out about 25 degrees, right? So it's slightly wider. That means when you start standing in front of somebody lined up with your parallel stance and you step into your walking stance, you'll step just outside their foot. So in walking stance, you step outside, then you step inside, and then you step outside. L stance, of course, is narrower than a walking stance. So if I start on the line here and I do an L stance, pivoting on the ball of my foot, and then step forward so that my toe and heel are approximately on the same line, giving me 2.5 centimeters between my heels, I'll step inside my partner's foot. So with L stance and 3-set sparring, you step inside, then outside, and then inside. Okay, so really important with your set sparring. When you're stepping forward, walking stance, outside, inside, outside. L stance, inside, outside, inside. It's the opposite way around. Okay, so let's do 3-step sparring, 7th GUP syllabus, one way, counter-attacking with our feet. All together. If you have a partner of similar height and you've got the space, yeah, you know it all, you can do this with your partner. Otherwise, we'll just do it alone. Ready position for 3-set sparring is always in walking stance. Ready. Now I'm going to step forward into my L stance and do a side punch. 1, 2. So it should be half facing, not side facing, not sideways, just naturally half facing because of my L stance with my feet. Sit. And step back to your ready position. Check that you're pivoting on the balls of your feet, not on your heels, balls of your feet. Now when I step back with my right leg, I'm going to do an L stance and a forearm middle block, just like Chonji. Crossing underneath. 3. From here, I'm going to use my front leg to do a side front snap kick. Then put my foot down where it was with a forearm guarding block. Then I can step back into my parallel stance. Okay, same position as I started. Okay, ready once more for number 1. Ready, attacking. 1, 2. Come on, Jack. 3. And step back, pivoting on the ball of the foot always. 2. And backwards, ball of the foot. 1, 2, 3. Side front snap kick. Forearm guarding block. And step forward into your ready position. I'm seeing a few people with your inner forearm middle block crossing with your elbows too high. This puts tension around your shoulders. When you cross for inner forearm middle block, keep your elbows down, relax, cover your body. And then come across this way using the power of your hip to here. Okay, not like this. Don't lift the elbows up. So I want everybody on the spot now just to check slowly your L star, your inner forearm middle block. Check that when you cross, your elbows are down. You're not lifting your elbows up. Some of you are doing this from down here. This is an inner forearm middle block. I cross in front of my chest, my opposite chest. Elbows down. Think of your 3 count. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Do the other side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Check. Look at yourself in your camera. Check that your elbows aren't rising when you cross. Okay, let's do number one once more. Keep those elbows down. Huh! L stance, side punch. Hana. Pull. Set. Step back, buttle. Huh! And stepping back with the right foot. Elbows down when you cross. Huh! Okay, cool. Now, question. First person to come up and type the answer into chat wins. Type the correct answer into chat wins. Is this is my right leg. This is my left leg. Is this an obverse punch or a reverse punch? Obverse punch or reverse punch? Who's first answer? Oh, Mr. Saunders, awesome. McLean's awesome. Yes, it's a reverse punch. Good answers. Fantastic. I'm in a right L stance punching with my left hand. So it is a reverse punch. Okay, green belts and above. Is this if I'm in a fixed stance, obverse punch or reverse punch? Go. Good, it's obverse because I'm in a left fixed stance, left hand. Reverse punch for L stance, obverse punch for fixed stance. Remember the way the stances are named. If I have equal weight on both feet, they're named for the front leg. So this is a left walking stance, a left fixed stance because my body weight is 50-50. If I have more weight on one of my legs, it's named on the left, named for the leg with the most weight. So this is a right one leg stance or a right bending stance or a right L stance because my right leg's at the back. Okay, so this is a reverse punch for L stance, an obverse punch for fixed stance. An obverse punch for L stance, reverse punch for fixed stance. Okay, number one, that was done. Number two, our attack is still L stance, reverse punch. Huh! Ready. So same attack. 1, 2, 3. And step back bottle. Your defense, knife hand guarding block. Huh! Remember, guarding block does not cross. Go, reach back, block forward. 2, 3. Now from here, your opponent is right in front of you. Picture where your opponent is with their L stance reverse punch that I've just blocked this way. I've got to step outside so I can use my rear leg for a turning kick. Huh! Then do my guarding block. When I return to my ready position, I've got to bring my left foot back where it was before I stepped. And then my partner and I will move back to our ready position at the same time. So I'll take that first step by myself, and then we both step together here at the same time. So it looks crisp and awesome. Okay, number 2 again. Ready. Ha! L stance side punch. 1, 2, 3. It's the back bottle. Ha! Knife hand guarding block. 1, 2, 3. Ha! Counter attack. Forearm guarding block. And return. So you should be on the same spot as you started. Now, a little note about step sparring. When you've got a partner, of course, I give my ready signal. Ha! My partner gives his or her ready signal. Ha! And then I do my movement. I key up on the counter attack. In this case, ha! And then no key up on the guarding block. And then return. Now notice the terminology there. At the beginning, when I signal that I'm ready, that's a ready signal. When my partner signals that he or she is ready, that is a ready signal. The counter attack is a key up. I'm getting energy into my movement. Ah! Okay, so there's a slight terminology difference. Okay, number 3. This time we attack with knife hand side strike. Ha! 1. Elbows down. 2. 3. Model. I block with forearm inwards block. So I open my hand to the side and come inward. Open to the side and come inward. Pulling my other hand back to the hip. So right leg back first, blocking with the left hand. Hop! From here, nice side piercing kick with the front leg. Pull! Forearm guarding block. And then return. Okay. It's number 3. Let's do number 3 again. Pull! Knife hand side strike. 1, 2, 3. Bottle. Pull! 1, 2, 3. Pull! Bottle. Now we're going to do number 1, then number 2, then number 3. Number 1. Ready. Pull. Go. Make sure you're pivoting on the balls of your feet. Pull. Pull. Number 2. Pull. 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 Number 3. Pull. 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 Okay. I'm now going to give you 5 minutes to practice your own step sparring syllabus. Okay, so if you don't know another step sparring syllabus, practice what we just did. If you do know another one, green belts, yellow belts, blue belts, do your own syllabus. Go.
Sir.
Practice that one, Miss O. Yes, Christian.
I was just wondering, the one we just practiced, was that for green stripe?
Yes. Yeah, so practice that one because you have to know that one as well.
Okay, because I forgot like green belt one.
Don't worry about that. We'll get that when we get in. Oh, no, there's videos of it on our website. So remember, that's probably the best place to look.
I've tried like noting everything down there, but I keep forgetting like all the things.
Okay, so you got your book, and there's also videos of them on our website. So I'll just show you where again. So here, sharing my screen of our website, members, syllabus sheets, and resources. So here, scrolling down, I've got syllabus videos for green belt. And then in the syllabus videos here, there's a video of 3-step sparring done alone. Okay, so underneath the pattern, here we go. Practicing a 3-step sparring there. It goes through the green belt and blue stripe, green belt 3-step sparring. Cool.
Okay.
So make sure you get the handle on the green belt, the green stripe 3-step sparring and the green belt 2-step sparring before we get back to club.
Okay.
Yeah, that's homework. So when we get to class, you can just do it with a partner. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to come and ask.
So what's the block for the first
Oh, palm downward block.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
I don't know if I moved up a belt or not.
Don't you? And yet your grading result was emailed to you last night. Is your mum being mean and not telling you what it was?
Showed it to me, but I wasn't sure if it was right or not.
It's right. Yes, Miss Yellow Belt. It's right. Hi.
I was just doubting myself.
Any other questions?
I further injured myself, sir, over the weekend doing a 15-kilometer run. So I won't be jumping, but I'll still do the sequences.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No problem at all.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Christian.
There was an email that I was first blue, but I'm white belt is really.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
what you're going to get, David, when we get back to class is you get a green stripe and a blue stripe to put onto your belt. And the next grading you do, which is probably going to be at the end of the year, will probably be for your yellow stripe the way that you're training now, because you're looking really good. But it's we slow down the younger guys. So your sister's gone up to yellow stripe, but it'll take you a little bit longer because it'll take you a little bit more time to get used to the techniques at a senior level. Okay. So you're going to get 2 stripes for your belt, and then at the end of the year, hopefully you'll go for your yellow stripe if you keep training the way you are now, because you're looking good.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Sir,
Yes, Christian.
I don't know the first I don't know my step sparring
What?
because I don't have the book that says like what's in it.
Oh dear. Okay, well, first thing I'm going to do just for you is instead of looking at me, you can look at Mr. West. And while you're looking at Mr. West got a surprise. Okay, so you look at Mr. West. I've highlighted him for everybody.
So just start from the beginning, or?
That'd be great. Thanks, Mr. West. Yeah, please start from the beginning. And while you're doing that, I'll open the book so that I can show Liam the techniques. Maybe you can take a screenshot or something. So it's walking stance, 4-fist punch, the first one there, Liam. Your defense is going to be palm downward block, followed by flying reverse hooking kick with the front leg. That's number 1. That's the only one that really has a block. The rest of them, the other 2 dodge. The second one is a flat fingertip thrust, I think, wasn't it, Mr. West? Yes, I was right. Flat fingertip thrust. Awesome. And your defense, just shift off to the side a little bit and do a mid-air kick. So shift off to the side, doing the knife hand low guarding block. You saw Mr. West was doing a knife hand low guarding block, then a mid-air kick. Then the third one, the attack, you'll have to take a little step so you can do a back piercing kick. And then your defense to this one is shifting slightly off to the side and doing a flying twisting kick. Making sure you've turned the foot right over. Jump up nice and high. Okay, so now that you've seen those 4, I'm just going to share my screen. Now, Liam, you should be able to see. If you come forward, Liam, do you know what the snipping tool is?
Yes.
Okay, take a snip of that.
Thank you, sir.
Lovely. "30 more seconds to work on what you're working on, or ask questions if you have questions.
So,
Yes, question.
sorry. In the 3-step sparring with the L stance, the last one, when we do the side turning
Piercing
kick,
kick. Yep.
piercing kick, what do we do with our hands? Because we are in, we ended like this. So,
Yep, good question. There's two things you can do, and one of them I would recommend. You can either make a guarding block with your hands, or you can do a high punch with your other hand. I actually recommend the high punch with the other hand because that's what you have to do in one yo. So it's just good practice. So from that third block, we're doing 4-member block here. This way is a really nice way of doing it because it's the same motion as you do in your pattern.
thank you.
No problem. Okay, come on. Everybody take a mouthful of water. We're going to finish now doing the rest of the green stripe syllabus for 3-step sparring, which is where they do 2-way 3-step sparring counter-attacking with the hands. Now, you know number 1 and number 2 from yellow stripe yellow belt syllabus. They're the ones you do 2-way. You don't do number 3 because it's got a front snap kick attack, and doing that backwards is just a nightmare. So we don't do it. So everyone together. Remember, for 2-way 3-step sparring, you attack going forward and then can attack going backwards. And then when you defend backwards, counterattack, defend forwards, counterattack. The same thing both directions. So together, parallel ready stance. Repeat. Right leg back. Pull. And forward. 3 punches. 1, 2, 3. Pause backwards. 1, 2, 3. That pauses to allow your partner time to do their counter attack. And then step forward, bottle. Now, if you've got limited space like me, you might have to change your position because you're going to go backwards now. Okay, so give yourself room to take 3 sets back. From your parallel stance, pull. And inner forearm middle block, stepping back. 1, 2, 3, counter attack, pull, flat fingers with thrust, and then straight away moving forward in a forearm middle block. 1, 2, 3, pull, counter attack, and step back. So that's number 1. Let's do it again. Yeah, pull. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. Are we in L stance or like?
We're in walking stance. This is the same ones that you did for yellow stripe and yellow belt. So I'm walking stance. Good question. Middle punch. Palm. 2. Set. Step back, buttle. Oh, sorry. We're doing 2-way. Let's start again. Sorry, my mistake. Start again. Palm. Forwards. Palm. 2. Set. Brief pause, backwards, hana, 2, set, forward buttle. Might need to adjust your space, pull, backwards, hana, 2, set, counter, pull, forwards, 2, set, counter, pull. And step back. It's number 1. Now number 2, high punch. Ha! Walking stance, 4-fist high punch. Hana. 2. Set. Backwards. 2. Set. Forward buttle. Adjust if you need to. Remember, your block is knife hand, high side block, crossing on top. Backwards, pull, hana, 2, set, forward, pull, reverse knife hand inward strike. Then I've got to shift that front foot. So I've got a right walking stance, knife hand, high side block. 2, set. Now my left foot goes forward. Pull! And return to my ready position. Let's do that once more. 4 fist high punch. Hana. 2. Set. Backwards. Hana. 2. Set. Bottle. And shuffle forward a bit if you need to. Ha! Right leg back. Hana. 2. Set. Counter. Ha! Stepping forward, right leg. Hana. 2. Set. Left leg counter. Ha! And bottle. Okay, now we're just going to do number 1, number 2 will be done.
So
Toby, you should do this too. This is your grade. Okay, ready? I'm not going to count. You're just going to stay in time with me. Jump. Ha! 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 Come on, Buttle, grab a drink.
so
Yes, ma'am.
sorry. For the last one, when we do the
Reverse knife hand inward strike.
for that, when we go into our like
Sitting
standing ready
stance.
or like the in stance, which foot do we move forward or backwards?
So when you're going forward, when you're coming backwards first, you're finishing with your right leg at the back. So your right leg comes forward to do the sitting stance.
I mean actually, I don't know how to explain it.
Be a movement number.
With the second knife hand inward strike, I think it is. Or
Left
reverse
foot
knife
forward,
hand.
left hand.
The left foot steps forward to do it. I think that's what you're trying to ask.
Is that right? So if you're talking about the defense, give me a movement number. You're doing 1, 2, 3 step backwards, 4 is the counter attack, 5, 6, 7 steps forwards, 8 is the counter attack. Which movement number?
8.
Okay, so yeah, good stuff, Mr. West. Okay, so from that movement, when you move forward, you'll have your right leg forward to do your block, and you're stepping your left leg into your sitting stance. Ha! This way. So you've done your counter attack on both sides, basically. So with 3 sets sparring 2-way, you counter attack on both sides. The right side moving forward, backward, and the left side moving forward. Okay, so the last movement from here. Ha! This way.
And then in that position, which foot do I come back to my position stance?
The left one, the one that just moves. And
Okay, that was my question. That's what I
cool. Yep. Okay. So the one that just moved, that one comes back to your ready position, and you'll find your way back where you started.
Thank you. Sorry.
Awesome.
So can I ask a question, please?
Absolutely.
In the 2-way 3-step sparring,
Yes.
is the foot movement out in out?
Good question. So when you're doing 3-set sparring in walking stance, the person stepping forward goes outside, inside, outside. So when you're stepping backwards, you don't have to worry about it. It's the person stepping forward that steps outside, inside, outside. If you're stepping with an L stance, then you go inside, outside, inside when you step forward. So it's not a difference between a 2-way and 1-way. It's just a difference between what stance you're using. If you're stepping in walking stance, you step forward, you go outside, then inside, then outside. If you're stepping into L stance, you go inside, then outside, then inside. And then coming back the other way, it's the same. The person who's now going forward in walking stance goes outside, inside, outside.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Cool.
Fantastic.
No problem. Okay. Thanks, guys. Let's get some stretching done. Hopefully you got a little bit of sweat worked out tonight. Sitting down, both legs out. Right leg over the top. And turn. So last week we went through all the the two-step sparring. Hopefully you were here and did that. Today we went through green stripe three-step sparring, both one-way and two-way.
Sorry for the confusing question.
Not a problem. Absolutely not a problem. Questions are good. If anyone's got any questions, unmute and ask. I don't know, I'll find out. Change legs. So as I was just saying, with two-way three-step sparring, if you're in walking stance, then the person who steps forward is the one who steps outside, inside, outside. So when you're punching, moving backwards, you don't have to worry about it. It's your partner that steps outside your foot, inside your foot, and outside your foot, as if they were attacking in one-way three-step sparring. It's the same thing. Remember I described at the start why that was. Your parallel stance is a shoulder width wide measured from the outsides of your feet. Your walking stance is a shoulder width wide measured from the center of your feet, which means that your walking stance is the width of your foot wider. That means when they step forward, because your left leg is lined up, when you step forward, you're stepping out 1 foot width, which means you're standing beside your partner's foot, not on top of it, just on the outside. And then when they step backward and you step forward with the other leg, you're now slightly offset. You're 1 foot width to the side of them. So the first one goes outside, and that's why the second one goes inside. You're both in a nice walking stance. And then our stance, of course, being narrower than walking stance, it naturally goes on the inside first. Question, Matt? Oh, you just unmuted, so I thought you might have a question. Okay, both feet out. Breathe in. And out.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
For the grading, for the green belts, dumb question, but do we have to learn the Korean words as well?
So yes, the answer. So you've got the theory handbook for colored belt, right? For all the way up to black stripe. So there's a section in there on theory that tells you what Korean terminology you have to know. Okay, so we used to a number of years ago just hold that position. I'll share my screen again.
Sorry, everyone.
No, everyone else is holding their stretch. There's no problem there. Okay, so where's that book I had open a moment ago? There it is. Okay, so I'll just go to the start. There it is. Okay, so here for yellow, oh, well, go to green stripe. Green stripe here, the Korean you have to know is under the theory section here. It says Taekwondo terminology. That's the stuff you have to know. And then for green stripe, here's the terminology you need to know, the basic kicks in Korean. And then for green belt, the Korean terminology you need to know is some basic blocks. Okay, so that's the Korean you have to know.
So just the theory.
Yes, the theory Korean is the Korean you have to know.
Okay.
If you do get familiar with the Korean for all of the techniques that you know, that's useful. Because quite often in class, I'll only use the Korean, and so it helps if you know it. Here's a fun fact for you people. Taekwondo terminology was actually developed in English before it was developed in Korean. How crazy is that?
Why was it like that?
Because at the time, General Che, the founder of Korea, was teaching American troops Taekwondo. And so, and of course, recognizing that English is a widely spoken language in Korean isn't, the starting point for the language was in English. So the very first books for Taekwondo, which were quite thin booklets, they were written in Korean language. But then I think the first Taekwondo Encyclopedia, which I can show you, was this book here, was released in English in 1969.
Can you still get that book?
There's actually a reprint of this available, but I picked this up on eBay. So I've started a little collection of my Taekwondo books, so it was important to get the first edition. Although I think mine's the third printing. So yeah, they're available if you look in the right places. The one that you actually want, legs apart, deep breath in, and take a stretch to one side. If you're looking for a Taekwondo book to buy, this is the ideal. This is the Taekwondo Encyclopedia, 1999. I don't remember which edition it is.
Who wrote it?
Fifth edition. Sorry.
Who wrote it?
General Che, the founder. It's quite a thick book. Covers pretty much everything. And you'll see it's got a blue cover. The earlier ones had a green cover. This is blue in this edition. Okay, so it's the 1999 version. They're a bit harder to find now because since the general passed away, there's a bit of a debate over who owns the rights to print them. But if you can find one, worth getting. And stretch up.
And just another question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. But during the holidays, we're practicing during the holidays and the normal times.
Yes. During the holidays, the Zoom classes will continue as we are now. Really good question. So during the school holidays, our Zoom classes will continue as they are. And when we get back to the dojang, we'll get back to our regular schedule of times. But remember, yeah, I meant to say this in the earlier class as well, actually. Taekwondo classes, of course, continue during school holidays. So whether we're in our lounges or in the dojang, they'll continue as we have been. Does that answer your question, ma'am?
Yeah.
Cool.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
can you just demonstrate to me that three-step sparring again when you do that third knife hand high block and then the transition to the reverse knife hand strike and then going back to the knife hand side blocks again?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Yeah, so
Because I'm sure I'm not the only one that's a little bit confused.
you're talking about two-way, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So you're going forwards with the three knife hand high blocks, and then you were doing the reverse knife hand strike.
Yes. So the transition from that first counterattack to the next defense.
Well, the transition from the very last high block to the counter to the next transition going backwards.
Okay, but you remember you go forward second.
So you're going forwards 3 times to do a knife hand high block.
No, you go
And after that
first.
third knife hand high,
You go backwards first.
yeah. Can you just
No,
demonstrate that to me?
Okay, so backwards first. 1, 2,
Okay.
3, right leg forward, counterattack. That's what we did at yellow belt.
Okay. Yep.
Now from here, my partner who punched at this position here is stepping back to do a punch. So I'm just going to come back here and then do a knife hand side block here. Because that's going to be the correct distance for the block.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I was here doing my counterattack. My partner is now going to step back and do a punch. And for me to get into the right position to block, I simply come in halfway, cross, and block here.
Sir,
Okay.
so are you using the same hand that you did the counterattack with to do the block?
Correct. Yes, that's correct.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. So
Okay,
I'm
thank you
going
for that.
left hand, right hand. Oh, no, sorry. Sorry, ma'am. No, it's the opposite hand. So right leg back, blocking left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand. And then, oh, sorry, you're right. Now right hand again to block. So yes, I think is the answer to your question. And then left hand, right hand, and then my left hand counterattacks. So yes, in the transition, I'm blocking with the left hand, counter-attacking with the right hand, and then blocking with the right hand afterwards.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
No problem, ma'am. Does that answer your question too, sir?
Thank you, sir. That's brilliant.
Awesome. Okay. Down to the center if you haven't already. Yeah, that one is a little confusing. Imagine what it'd be like if we tried number 3 with that front snap kick. It's just messy. Because you don't know whether to kick and then step back and then kick. It's just, and it looks untidy no matter which way you do it when you're attacking with a front snap kick.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
in grading, do I have to, for step sparring, do I make my own or do I do it from the book?
It's a really good question, sir. Now, I don't mind either way. The book, as far as I'm concerned, particularly for one-step sparring, the book gives you examples. You can use the examples if you want to. You can make your own up if you want to. However, you must demonstrate the compulsory kicks. Okay, so you've got, I think, flying reverse hook and kick, mid-air kick, and flying twisting kick. You have to demonstrate those 3. But the attack and defense combination, I don't mind what you do. I think Dr. Varley's likes you to learn those examples. To me, it doesn't matter so much. With 2-step and 3-step, 3-step we use the examples, and everyone uses the examples because students are very junior at that level, and making their own up is just too tricky. Green belt and green stripe doing 2-step, the reason we use the examples from the book is because it's very difficult if you're thrown in with a new partner to teach your partners your own made up ones on the spot. It's really difficult to do and then perform well. But with 1-step, when you're saying to your partner, walking start, flat fingertip thrust here, please, it's done. That's all you have to do. So you can make your own up and then do it with any old partner, any old time, and not have a problem. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Cool. Man.
I just forgot my question. Sorry, I'll remember it later.
Legs in, standing up, left leg behind. I'll stay on for a minute after class if anyone's got any last minute questions.
Can I ask the question? I just remembered it.
Yes.
For grading, if you do have enough classes, do you have to attend the grading even if you feel like you're not ready?
No. It's a discussion with me as your instructor. I would like you to grade because I think you're ready. And he said, oh, sir, I don't think I'm ready. And then I can try and convince you, say, look, I'm the examiner. I know whether or not you're ready to. But so it's a discussion. If you don't want to go yet, you can say, sir, I'd rather wait till the next term. That's no problem at all.
Okay.
And change. It's actually very difficult to do every grading, particularly once you get to about blue belt, green stripe blue belt. Nate, what are you doing? Leave your sister alone. Once you get to about blue stripe or blue belt, the technical things you have to learn get a lot harder. And it's more likely then that you'll start looking at grading twice a year rather than 4 times a year as you do when you really first start out. And twist the hips. Change direction. Change the left and tidy up. Taekwondo. Thanks, everybody. Great to see you. I'll stay on if you've got any questions for a bit.
Thank you, Dad.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.